We are captivated by stories. From ancient epics to modern streaming series, humanity's oldest obsession is narrative. But what is the central engine of every compelling story? It's not peace, it's not comfort, it is conflict. Think about it. Why do we rush to the cinema to witness fictional wars, betrayals, and devastating emotional struggles? Why do we root for heroes who face impossible odds? Why do we love fictional conflict, even though we desperately seek peace in our own lives? Today, we're diving into the psychology of dramatic storytelling and how its universal power is reflected in the divine narratives of the Quran. Our title is Why We Love Fictional Conflict: The Spiritual and Narrative Power of Drama. The universal appeal of conflict lies in its function as a psychological and moral crucible. It allows us to process complex, real-world anxieties in a safe, controlled environment. Psychologists refer to this as catharsis, the emotional purging we experience when we witness high drama. By observing fictional suffering, we release our own pent-up emotions, fear, anger, grief, without facing the actual consequences. Furthermore, conflict simplifies the moral universe, allowing us to clearly identify right and wrong, good and evil, which is often messy in real life. This need for clear moral instruction is precisely why narrative is the primary vehicle for divine guidance. A large portion of the Quran is composed of qisas, stories or narratives, detailing intense conflicts between prophets and their people, between truth and falsehood, and between arrogance and humility. These are not merely historical records. They are divine parables, designed to engage the heart and teach profound, eternal moral laws. The Quran itself highlights the educational purpose of its stories, giving them a spiritual weight far beyond mere entertainment. We relate to you the best of stories in what we have revealed to you of this Quran, although you were before it among the unaware. Surah Yusuf, chapter 12, verse 3. This verse, introducing the entire narrative of the prophet Joseph, peace be upon him, underscores that the qisas are superior narratives designed to awaken awareness. The conflict within the story of the prophet Joseph, peace be upon him, the envy of his brothers, his abandonment in the well, his unjust imprisonment, is incredibly dramatic. We love this story because it is the ultimate narrative of patience, saber, in the face of relentless injustice. Through Joseph's, peace be upon him, suffering, we learn that character is forged in adversity, and divine justice, though delayed, is always delivered. The drama provides the emotional hook, but the resolution provides the moral certainty, which is what the soul truly craves. Another reason we are drawn to fictional conflict is vicarious mastery. Watching a protagonist overcome obstacles, whether they are dragons, despots, or personal demons, teaches us resilience and provides a mental rehearsal for our own challenges. When the hero of a story falls and gets back up, our brain registers that resilience as a viable strategy, boosting our psychological capacity to endure. The Quran's narratives about the prophets, such as the prophet Moses, peace be upon him, confronting the tyrannical Pharaoh, are the ultimate source of this vicarious strength. The confrontation is a monumental conflict, the spiritual light of truth against the political power of oppression. The prophet Moses, peace be upon him, despite his human anxieties and speech impediment, is commanded to stand firm. Go to Pharaoh. Indeed, he has transgressed, and speak to him with gentle speech that perhaps he may be reminded or fear God. Surah Taha, chapter 20, verse 43 through 44. This narrative teaches the fictional audience, the reader or listener, that facing the greatest evil starts with gentleness, clarity, and unwavering faith, not reciprocal violence. We identify with Moses's, peace be upon him, initial fear, and through his eventual triumph, we gain confidence that our own struggles, however large, can be overcome with God's help. The third key element is identity exploration and moral testing. Fictional conflict places characters in extreme ethical dilemmas. We constantly ask ourselves, what would I do in that situation? This active comparison forces us to test and solidify our own moral boundaries without having to pay the actual price of a real-life failure. The Quran uses narrative not to entertain, but to test and define moral identity. The story of the people of the cave, Ashab al-Kahf, is a foundational narrative in identity conflict. These youths faced the ultimate choice: conform to the oppressive polytheistic culture or risk death for the sake of their monotheistic truth. They chose separation and reliance on God. Their story is a powerful, dramatic lesson in maintaining identity and faith under extreme social pressure. The Quran tells us, "Indeed, they were youths who believed in their Lord, and we increased them in guidance." Surah Al-Kahf, chapter 18, verse 13. We love this fictional conflict because it shows that even in total isolation, fidelity to truth is the ultimate success. The intensity of fictional conflict also serves to heighten our appreciation for peace and resolution. The sweet relief, when a conflict is finally resolved, is directly proportional to the stress and uncertainty we felt during the struggle. This emotional mechanism teaches us the profound value of salam, peace, in the real world. By experiencing the chaos of fictional war, we learn to cherish the structure and stability of real-world order. The Quran often presents dramatic scenes of past destruction or the chaotic imagery of the Day of Judgment to underscore the beauty and order of the heavens and the reward for peace. The contrast between the reward of paradise, defined by tranquility, and the chaos of the world emphasizes the moral imperative to strive for peace. The narratives are essentially a grand spiritual drama, where the highest stakes are always the state of the soul. Let's look at the function of the antagonist, the villain or source of conflict in the Quranic narrative. Antagonists like Pharaoh or the people of the prophet Noah, peace be upon him, who mocked the ark, are embodiments of moral errors, arrogance, denial, and injustice. They are not merely bad characters, they are archetypes of spiritual disease. By witnessing the ultimate failure and punishment of these antagonistic archetypes, the reader internalizes the moral consequences of these traits. We are drawn to them because they represent the darkness we fear resides within us, allowing us to safely witness its catastrophic consequences. Contrast this with the role of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the ultimate Uswa Hasana, excellent example. His life, filled with real conflict, persecution, and struggle, becomes the template for navigating our own internal and external battles. We read the conflicts of his life not for dramatic thrills, but for practical instruction on patience, diplomacy, and perseverance. The conflict in the Battle of Uhud, for example, is highly dramatic, but its primary lesson is about the consequences of indiscipline and the necessity of unity. The Quran guides the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the believers through the immediate aftermath of this intense conflict. So, by mercy from God, O Muhammad, you were lenient with them, and if you had been rude in speech and harsh in heart, they would have dispersed from about you. Surah Ali Imran, chapter 3, verse 159. This revelation, following a military conflict, transforms the external drama into a lesson in internal empathetic leadership, which is the higher purpose of the narrative. Another psychological appeal of fictional conflict is its deep connection to the survival instinct. Conflict, at its core, is a test of survival, mentally and physically. Our brains are hardwired to pay attention to danger, as it is crucial for self-preservation. Fictional conflict triggers this ancient part of our brain, keeping us deeply engaged and focused, much like a hunter focusing on prey. The Quranic narrative taps into this instinct by framing life itself as a fundamental test, a grand conflict between haq, truth, and batil, falsehood. This is the ultimate non-fictional conflict we are all engaged in, a spiritual battle for the soul. He who created death and life to test you, as to which of you is best indeed. Surah Al-Mulk, chapter 67, verse 2. By understanding this ultimate struggle, the smaller fictional conflicts we consume become metaphorical training grounds for this real, eternal test. We also love the drama of fictional conflict because it highlights the importance of human connection and loyalty. Crisis situations reveal character. They show us who is truly loyal, who will sacrifice for others, and who will flee. We celebrate the fictional characters who demonstrate selfless loyalty because it affirms our deep-seated need for secure, trustworthy relationships. The relationship between the prophet Moses, peace be upon him, and his brother, the prophet Aaron, peace be upon him, is a stunning example of divinely sanctioned loyalty. When Moses, peace be upon him, was called to face Pharaoh, he immediately asked God to make his brother his partner in his mission, and appoint for me a helper from my family, Aaron, my brother. Increase through him my strength, and let him share in my mission. Surah Taha, chapter 20, verse 29 through 32. This is the epitome of loyalty and teamwork in the face of conflict, demonstrating that the greatest tasks require genuine partnership. Fictional conflict often teaches us about the nature of tawakkul, reliance and trust in God, even when all external conditions suggest failure. When the prophet Abraham, peace be upon him, was cast into the fire by his people, his reliance was absolute. The subsequent miracle, the fire becoming cool and peaceful, is the ultimate dramatic turning point, affirming that faith can overcome physics. We said, "O fire, be coolness and safety upon Abraham." Surah Al-Anbiya, chapter 21, verse 69. This is more than a spectacle. It's a lesson that total reliance on God transforms the nature of reality itself. So, why do we love fictional conflict? Because it allows us to safely experience fear, test our moral boundaries, rehearse resilience, and ultimately, affirm our highest spiritual and ethical values. The best fictional conflict is an echo of the divine drama of creation and accountability, a drama that seeks to perfect the human soul. When we engage with stories, we are fulfilling a deep, innate need to understand the meaning of life's struggles. The Quran simply perfected the art of storytelling, using real-life, high-stakes conflicts to offer timeless, universal lessons. We hope this exploration has deepened your understanding of why these narratives hold such enduring power over the human heart. The next time you find yourself captivated by a dramatic story, remember that your soul is seeking instruction on how to navigate the ultimate real-life conflict, the battle between good and evil within you. Our mission here at Quran X Insight is to illuminate these narrative pathways to spiritual understanding. If this video resonated with you, providing clarity on the spiritual function of storytelling and conflict, please consider supporting our channel and helping this unique blend of global and divine insight reach a broader audience. Take a moment right now to like this video. Your positive feedback is crucial for our growth. Share this video with friends, students of literature, or anyone who loves a good story and wants to understand its deeper meaning. And most importantly, please subscribe to the Quran X Insight channel and ring that notification bell. Your subscription ensures you don't miss our next deep dive into the fascinating concepts revealed in the Quran. We are profoundly grateful for your time and intellectual curiosity. May peace and guidance be upon us all.